Hi, I'm Nisha DeGaring, host of Good Things Utah, and I've been a longtime supporter of Todd's Belief Cast. I hope you find inspiration in the courageous stories shared by the amazing people Todd features on his show. The guests serve as shoulders for us to stand on, allowing us to see a little further and cultivate belief in oneself. Remember, you have the dignity and power to change. I encourage you to keep striving and believing in yourself. Enjoy today's podcast.
I want to take a moment to express my heartfelt gratitude to the incredible sponsors of the BeliefCast podcast. First, Craig from Craig Swap & Associates. If you need an attorney, he's your guy. Trustworthy, compassionate, always there when you need him most. Next, Wasatch Recovery, the greatest university on the planet, transforming lives one day at a time. Sandy from Minky Couture, the creative genius behind the most comfortable blanket you'll ever wrap yourself in. Comfort like no other. The visionaries behind Thread wallets. These wallets redefine style and functionality. Dave Philippi from Micro Plus, pushing the boundaries of nanotechnology and scientific research to bring us cutting-edge supplements for optimal health. The Ralphs and the Debenhams, creators of Mori Nutrition and Calm. Because if you're struggling with sleep, feeling stressed, or can't focus, Calm is your answer. Special thanks to the award-winning pianist Paul Cardall for his beautiful music that brings inspiration to every episode. And finally, Gab Wireless, letting kids be kids and giving parents the peace of mind they deserve. Right now, Gab is offering $25 off any device to new customers with no contract required. That's $25 off any Gab smartphone or smartwatch. Just go to gab.com/belief. That's where you'll get the best deal. That's gabb.com/belief. Thank you to all these amazing sponsors for supporting the BeliefCast podcast and empowering us to continue spreading positivity and inspiration to the world. Welcome back, everybody. This is Todd Sylvester with the Todd Inspires BeliefCast. As always, thank you for tuning in. I am your host. I've been doing this now for over 7 years, which is really cool. As you just heard, I have some amazing sponsors that support this amazing podcast, and the stories that you hear and people overcoming some crazy things in their life. It's just remarkable to me. People are amazing. Thank you for supporting me. It means the world. Please share this with your family and friends. That also means the world to me as well. I've had amazing guests on my show, and, from all walks of life, male and female, obviously, but people who've overcome addiction, have overcome just some of the most horrific things you could even imagine. And again, it's just always astounding to me that the power of the human spirit. So guys, remember that today. Today's going to be no different. We have my good friend and coworker and colleague, Dalton Tarufelli. I say that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Dalton, thanks for being here today.
Absolutely. It's such an honor to be here.
Yeah. We've known each other for a few years now, and we work together at Wasatch Recovery. We met as you were actually a client here at Wasatch Recovery.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I got to obviously know you really well because, this is a therapeutic community. We do therapy here. We get into the dark recesses of your life, and we go, get to the uncomfortable stuff. And you did a fantastic job when you were here. Meaning you got vulnerable. You weren't afraid to talk about some things. Obviously you were struggling, and that's why you were here, but you were one of those clients that we really loved having because you put in the work.
Right.
Fair?
Yeah, absolutely.
I
mean, I knew I needed the help, and as soon as I got here, I just took advantage of everything that you guys were offering. Yeah.
Well, you're awesome, and I can't wait for people to hear your story. A little background on Dalton. He's 29 years old. He was born and raised in Rock Springs, Wyoming. Right on, man. You have a sister, Mariah, correct?
Mariah, yeah.
And you had a younger brother named Derek.
Yep.
Growing up, your dad came down with cancer, and by the time, I think it was 17 when your dad passed away. And then at that time, you realized also through that period that your mom was struggling with alcoholism.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
And then, if I remember right, your brother Derek unfortunately passed away when you were 25 from also an alcohol addiction as well.
Correct.
Correct?
Yeah.
So you've lost some people in your life, and then eventually your mom passed away, and so it's just you and your sister, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I have my grandparents and like uncle, cousins. Yeah. I have family, but definitely lost.
And I want to hear all that story from you, but I want to let people just up front understand that, hey, Dalton's been through a lot in his life, and he's also struggled with addiction himself. And so this is the story you guys are going to hear today. And maybe what we start off, Dalton, with is talk about how was growing up? What was your childhood like?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, grew up in Rock Springs, Wyoming. I mean, growing up there, I loved it, right? I didn't know anything else. It was home, and I had great support system, a great family. Me, my brother, my sister, we were all involved in like sports. Yeah. Everything like after school. But yeah, sports were a big part of my life growing up. So
what was your favorite? Do you have a favorite sport or?
I mean, anything from boxing, wrestling, baseball.
Really, you did boxing, huh?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So did you carry that on for a while?
Yeah, I mean, one of my best friends, his dad owned the gym in Rock Springs, and nice. I just hung out with him every day. So I was at the gym a lot with him and learned a lot from them. And yeah, definitely has a big place in my heart. You know, growing up like that taught me a lot. Yeah,
boxing. Obviously, you got to be very disciplined in that sport and things like that. And it's not easy, obviously, and no one likes getting hit in the face, right? And that kind of thing. And so, talk about that for a minute. You said it's something, that you learned a lot from. Can you share some of those insights?
Yeah, absolutely. So I boxed and wrestled.
Okay.
I loved them both. And the main thing I learned from both of them is the discipline and the mental toughness, right? Mm-hmm. And it's an art. Like, you go in, you're going to get hit, but like, that's just a small portion of it. Yeah. Like, the physical is not even close to the mental game in both of them. You go in and you have to be confident. You have to know you're going to win. You have to train hard. You have to, like, every day get up and tell yourself you can do it. So it's just a battle every day when you're doing that kind of stuff because your body's beat up. Yeah. And then you just got to tell yourself and get through it.
Yeah. Wrestlers are unbelievable as well. I didn't wrestle, but I played basketball. And I remember in high school, we started our basketball practice, and we had it was a hard practice. We ran a lot. A lot of conditioning, a lot of hard work. And wrestlers would start their practice at the same time. Yep. Well, we'd get done with our practice, go shower, get cleaned up, and then we'd be leaving. And the wrestlers are still going. And one of the things is I saw they were running up and down the stairs with one of the other wrestlers on their back.
Yeah, like fireman carry.
Yeah, fireman carry. And I was sitting there going, oh my God, I'm so glad I'm not a wrestler. Mm-hmm. I got to go home. Yeah, so I have a lot of respect for people who box and wrestle and obviously mixed martial arts in general, right? I'm always impressed with people who have disciplined themselves to do those things.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. And growing up like that, you mentioned my dad, right? And like, there was a time where I definitely lost it. I wasn't in it anymore. I remember being in high school and I was smoking weed too, but like my dad was sick and he wasn't coming to like my competitions anymore. Like, so it just, for me, it was like, do I even want to do this anymore, And I didn't wrestle good for a long time. And I had support, but for some reason, I just couldn't get past, like, what I was going through. I didn't know how to ask for help. I didn't know how to do any of that. So I just stopped loving what I was doing.
Were you just really, like, sad that your dad wasn't getting any better? Was that part of the weight of it, or was there other things going on?
I think that was the main thing. I think it was like seeing my dad sick and like seeing him go through that and being just so occupied with that and not knowing how to deal with it that I would, just didn't know if I loved it anymore. I didn't try to. I didn't push myself. I just kind of was like, okay, I'm just doing this now. Yeah. I lost a lot of passion during that time.
Well, and I mentioned in the, in the intro about I think at that time you started noticing that your mom was also struggling with alcohol.
Right.
And alcoholism and stuff. How did that affect you? And did you say anything to her? Did you guys talk about it? Did you point it out to dad or your family?
Yeah, I mean, and my family knew, and my dad knew, and like me, my brother, my sister, we saw it. But it was just like we didn't know what to do. Like we're all going through this hard time.
Tough time, yeah.
And like we're noticing like her drinking and drinking more, and at the same time, you know, she was still being a mom. Right. And she was doing what she could, but definitely like seeing her like that was new and different. I didn't know how to deal with that. I didn't know what to say to her, you know. Anytime we would, it would be like she would get mad. She would not take it the right way, you know, like mostly like she was just like disappointed in herself, right? So she didn't know how to talk to us about it either.
Yeah.
So just whole dynamic where everything is just chaotic in a sense, like everyone's dealing with their emotions in different ways, and nobody's not talking to each other about what we should be talking about, you know.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's one of the hardest things with families. I think most people listening to this would say, yeah, it's our families typically aren't very good communicators. I know with my family growing up, we didn't communicate about some of the tougher things in life. We just kind of like didn't talk about stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
It was all kind of just everyday life stuff, nothing serious. You know, if something was really big, it's almost like, man, I don't even know how to say it.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Is that what it felt like a little bit?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I was struggling with so much internally that it was like.
So how old were you when you, I guess, first started, smoking and drinking and that?
15.
Okay.
Both of them. I remember I tried smoking weed and like I loved it. I loved the way I felt. I loved how I just escaped from everything. Like I just wasn't worrying about anything when I was doing that. Same with drinking. Like I started partying and drinking, and same thing. It was the escape. Like I just didn't have to deal with anything. I didn't have to face what I was dealing with.
Did your family know that you were drinking and smoking and that?
I mean, my mom in a sense, yes. My dad found out that I was like a little bit. Like at the time he was sick, you know, like I would hide it from them. But they also just knew, and they would sit me down and they would talk to me and say like, hey, if you're going to be doing this, like we want you to be safe. Like we don't want this to take over. Like talk to us about it if you're going to do it. Yeah. And like obviously my sister was older and she was in college, but she would say the same thing. She's like, I know you're going to do this. I know like, but I want you to be safe. So it was like they all knew like it's probably going to happen. Like, right. I'm experimenting. I'm younger, but they knew what it can lead to, you know. Sure. So we had the talks about it. I just wasn't comfortable having the talks.
Yeah, right. It was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Were you close to your sister and brother?
Absolutely. I mean, those two are my best friends. Yeah. Like my sister is like a hero to me. Mm-hmm. My brother he was my younger brother, but I looked up to him, you know, like I loved the way he was, how he carried himself. Like he was so supportive. He was like the best guy, and he pushed me to be like, I wanted to be the best older brother I could for him. Really? And we just had like this, we fought a lot. I mean, and at times it was very like, I mean, fist fights where like we're just going at it because we would get, if we got disagreed or we got worked up with each other, we didn't know how to deal with it. And then right after, we're best friends and we're coming up with plans and goals. And
that's when your boxing came into play.
Both of us, we're trying to figure out who's tougher. You know, he always wanted to figure out if he was tougher than me. And there were times he was for sure. Yeah.
So, you know, obviously you're going through this at age 13, you find out your dad has got the cancer. At 15, you start drinking and partying. You're struggling, but you know how to talk about it. This goes on for a while. You realize your mom's also struggling. That's a lot for a young kid to be dealing with, right?
Right.
So it makes sense in a way because, you know, the business you and I are in now where we see where that type of stress, people a lot of times don't want to deal with it in a healthy way. They find the quick fix, that kind of thing. So, this continues for a while. Obviously, you're now 29 years old. I'm trying to think, how old were you when your brother passed? 25?
25.
Yeah, you were 25 years old.
25.
So do you mind sharing what happened with your brother, or is that whatever you're comfortable with sharing so our listeners know?
Yeah, absolutely. So there was a time where me, my brother, and my mom were all drinking together. It was during COVID and a little bit after COVID. And we all came to this place somehow where, because we were living together, like supporting each other. My mom has been struggling with alcoholism at this point, for a long time. And I started to struggle with it like prior to this, and I just wasn't asking for the help that I knew I needed. Then somehow my little brother was drinking with me a lot and drinking by himself a lot, and it turned into, well, we were home together, we started drinking, and we started drinking every day. And it was for a long period of time. I'm talking about like 6 months every day where we're just drinking. We're waking up every morning drinking because, well, one, we're really sick if we're not drinking, and we don't know how to escape from it,
right.
And one night we're all just hanging out drinking and like doing what we normally did, just like watch a movie or something, and trying to figure, like, we would always talk about like, we need to stop this, me and my brother especially, and we really we wanted to, we're stuck in this cycle. And then that night, I just remember us going to bed, and then the next morning I hear my little brother make this noise, and I'm like, it's a weird noise, right?
Yeah.
And I'm over there, I'm laying there, and I don't feel good. Like at this point, I'm like withdrawing, and I go over there and I'm like, Derek, like, and then he's not responding. So I like check his pulse. And then his pulse is like really faint, and like at this point I'm like panicking. I'm like, Mom, like Derek's like, his pulse is faint, his breathing is really shallow, like we need to call an ambulance. So like I called 911. I'm on the phone with them, and they're just guiding me through like, hey, give him CPR, keep doing this until we get there.
Right.
And I'm panicking. I'm just like, I just see him laying there, and like he stopped breathing, so I'm just giving him CPR. And I remember it so clearly too. It's like one of those moments where I'm just like, I just see it every time I talk about it. And next thing I know, the paramedics get there, the police get there, and I see them putting the breathing machine on him. And I'm just sitting here talking to this police officer because he's just trying to figure out like what happened, right? And I'm just like trying to talk to this police officer, and I'm like, so focused on my little brother, like I'm like, is he gonna be like, what's going on, just like yelling at them. And next thing I know, I finally get done with the police officer. My grandma comes and picks me up, and we go to the hospital, and they're telling me he started breathing, but he's still not responsive, so they life flighted him here to Salt Lake.
Okay.
And I was so sick that day, I couldn't even make the trip to Salt Lake. My sister
from drinking.
Oh, correct.
Wow.
Yeah, I was withdrawing really bad, and it was like that for a long time. And my sister and my uncle and my brother-in-law came here to Salt Lake to give us updates on him, and just the whole day I just had this feeling like he's not gonna make it, like just from what I saw, And then next thing I know, it's around 7:00, and my sister's like calling me, and she's like, he's not responding, like they're just gonna have to like pull the plug, I'm just getting all the news, and I'm just sitting there and I'm hating myself, I'm like, this is my fault, like I blame myself, like
really,
yeah, absolutely. I blame myself. I thought it should be me. I'm like, it shouldn't be him. And then we get the call later that night, and he passes away. And after that, I was lost and in a really dark place.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. That had to have been so difficult. So, you at the time also, did you mention you were drinking with Mom as well?
Right.
Was that a weird dynamic for you, or did it just feel normal?
It was the weirdest dynamic, but I didn't know how to escape it. It was, we were like just supporting each other, so nothing, bad was going to happen in a sense. And like my other family members supported us too, and they tried to help, and they tried getting us to get better. They tried everything, and we just could not break out of this cycle. We just were stuck.
Yeah. What do you know? What did they give you a cause of why he passed, or did they know? Or
the doctor that I talked to and my sister talked to, when I was answering some questions, they said, well, it looks like his electrolytes were so out of balance that it caused him to go into cardiac arrest. So from the drinking and the not taking care of himself and not eating, that it just happened.
Wow. And how old was your brother at the time? You were 25, right?
He was 22.
22. So here you are now thinking it was your fault. How did you deal with that, and how did you overcome that, and what? I mean, I would imagine, from what I know from your story, it got worse for you.
It definitely did.
So you kept drinking and partying even more.
Not necessarily even partying either, just drinking by myself.
Maybe not partying, you were just drinking your sorrows away if you could. Or at least trying to.
Yep.
What was your mental state at the time?
At the time, I stopped for a little while after he had passed away because I wanted to, I didn't want that to happen to me. I didn't want to put my family through it. And I knew very well it could happen to me if I kept going.
Yeah.
And I stopped for a little while, but every time something came up, I couldn't handle it. I beat myself up. So I would go get a bottle. Next thing I know, I'm drinking for a week in a row. Next thing I know, I'm in the hospital. Next thing I know, I'm getting carried to the hospital, by my uncle. Like, it was just this cycle right after too.
Wow. How did obviously this is difficult for everybody, obviously including you, because you felt like you were best friends with him. And how did the other family members take it?
Hard. Yeah, it was a very hard time for everyone.
Like your mom, what was your mom thinking? Was she also feeling like she played a part in this because she was drinking with you guys, or?
Yeah.
Or did that ever, I don't know if you ever talked about that.
We did. And she took it very hard. And it was almost like she gave up after that, after seeing that. That's my mind, from talking to her, that's what I got from it, is she didn't know what else to do after that.
Yeah.
So she was very lost and hurt. And
yeah. So here you guys are, obviously struggling big time, not only because of the passing of your brother, but drinking, doing drugs, everything, whatever you're doing. Was there a time in that space where you're like, man, I need help? Or did that even cross your mind? Or did you want to not be here? Did you have thoughts of wishing you were going to die?
I absolutely had thoughts that I wanted to die. I wasn't necessarily I was wanting to die. It was more like I could care less if I'm standing here, It was like, if it happens, it happens, and I'm okay with it. I just didn't really care if I was here anymore.
What was your sister doing during all this time where you guys were drinking? And does she drink? Does she do all that too? Or what was
my
she doing?
sister is just, she's the best. She's a nurse. She's actually just finishing up her nurse practitioner.
Oh, congrats.
But she just, she might drink every once in a while, but
yeah.
Nothing.
But it wasn't on the level you guys, she wasn't abusing it. And
no, she was just trying to figure out how to help us. That's all she did.
Yeah.
She just wanted to help however she could. She wanted me to get better. She wanted my mom to get better. She wanted my little brother to get, that's all it was.
Yeah.
All of my family members. And she just, she has 2 daughters. She has a husband, and she was just doing the best she could, and still doing amazing in her own life,
Yeah.
Which.
Right. Well, you and I did a lot of work one-on-one when you were here, and we talk a lot about how our beliefs dictate our behavior, and good or bad, right?
Right.
What were some of the beliefs you had going through all of this, just even as a kid, that were holding you back? Just these limiting beliefs that you had.
I'm not as good as anyone else. I'm constantly comparing to myself to other people. I'm never going to be that good. My potential, I don't have much potential. Those were my beliefs, I was always hard on myself and down on myself.
Yeah.
Anytime something happened, I'm like, I'm a shitty person. I'm an awful human being. Like, I don't deserve this. Like, that was my belief system. I didn't deserve love. Like, not good at relationships.
Right.
So those were my beliefs while I was going through all this.
Yeah, which also fuels some of the behavior, obviously, that you were doing, which didn't help the belief at all. It just reinforced it.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So you find yourself in these dark places. So how did you get to a place where you were willing to come to treatment? And
so during that whole time, I always knew I needed help, and I was never against it. I just knew I needed a place where I could actually talk about stuff I went through, I knew I needed help, and I knew I needed just something where I can like deal with my emotions. And I tried some places in Rock Springs, and it didn't work for me, and I might not have had the intention, or
right. Sure.
And then one day I'm in a cycle where I've been drinking every day, and my family knows this, and I receive a call from my sister, and she did this all on her own. And she just said, hey, I found a place in Salt Lake that you can go to if you go to detox down there today. She took care of my insurance. She took care of everything just to get me help. And so for some reason, I never answer the phone when I'm drinking. I don't answer people.
Yeah.
And I answered her. And I said, you know what? Okay. And I'm really, I'm deep at this point.
Even though she even said, today you got to go now.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people would put that off. Well, okay, maybe next week. Maybe in a couple weeks I'll think about it.
Yeah.
But you were like, okay, we got to go today. I'm open to it.
Okay, yeah. I was like, okay, I'll do it.
Because again, you were in a dark place.
I was in a dark place again. And next thing I know, I had been drinking all morning. This was early afternoonish that I had talked to her. And then next thing I know, she's there picking me up. I'm saying goodbye to my mom. And her and my grandpa come down here, and they admit me to detox.
Wow.
After taking care of everything I needed without even knowing.
Was it a sense of relief for you at that moment, or were you like going, man, what's going to happen here? What was that like?
I was scared.
Yeah.
I was ashamed that it had got to this point, even though it had been that bad all along, as I was going through it. I was scared that I'm not going to succeed. I was scared that this will be a never-ending cycle.
Yeah.
It was all the unknown I was scared of. I didn't know what my friends were going to think. I didn't know what my family, I didn't know any of that. So I was just scared.
So did you discover Wasatch while you were in detox, or did your sister already find Wasatch before all that?
My sister had talked to Decker and Alicia.
Okay.
And they told her everything to do before I got there, and then they were going to come pick me up from detox.
Wow.
And then Decker came and picked me up from detox.
Yeah. You hit the jackpot, right?
I did. I absolutely did.
Yeah. For those listening right now, I'll often say that Wasatch is the greatest university on the planet, because everyone needs this training here. It's not just people who struggle with addiction. It's more so of people who struggle with a belief, I'm not good enough and I can't do it. And, I don't deserve good things in my life, and, or relationships and things like that. And so it's more of just how we overcome those things. And, so you get to Wasatch. Tell us your experience here, what that was like.
My experience here was amazing from my first day to my last day. I met some of the best people. I learned I remember everything here I learned. I remember specific conversations with therapists. I remember conversations with you, with everybody that worked here. I could name every single person that worked here when they were here. It was every day I woke up and I was ready. I was ready to get better. I was ready to learn. I was ready to be the best version of me possible, because I just learned here that it was possible. And everyone here was so supportive and so encouraging, and they gave me every single tool I needed.
Yeah.
And just showed me everything I needed to know.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. So like you said, there's a lot of unknowns. You go to detox. Well, I don't even know what this is going to do. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if I can change. You come to Wasatch, it's still unknown. And then again, you start seeing that, you start hearing things that cause you to feel hope.
Absolutely.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because like you just said it a minute ago, like you started feeling like it was possible to actually change.
Yeah.
You know, Mark and I, we did a Wasatch Way a week or two ago.
Yeah.
And we talked about a quote from James Allen, who wrote the book As a Man Thinketh.
Mm-hmm.
And the quote went like this: "A spoken sentence can turn the tide of history." Meaning the power of a word or a power of a sentence, how it could change someone's life. It can turn their whole tide in a better direction. So you heard obviously some things that started to turn the tide of your history.
Mm-hmm.
No longer are you the alcoholic, druggy, loser, can't do it, type person. And you start realizing, man, maybe it is possible that I can not only change, but make a good life of myself.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you remember, was that a gradual thing, or do you remember like there was a one aha moment that really hit you, or was it just all of the above?
I think it happened gradually.
Okay.
And then as soon as I noticed it, I just ran, I leaned into it.
Yeah.
And then from there, it was like, okay, nothing can, worked on my belief system every day.
Yeah,
I worked on everything I needed to every day. And from then on, it was like, nothing's going to stop me.
Wow.
Like, I'm going to keep getting better every day because I deserve it.
Yep. And I love what I love about you when you were here. You really did work hard. Before I get into what I want to say, but I want to hear from you, like, what makes a successful treatment for people? Because so many people go through treatment and some of them don't want to be here. What does it look like to, if someone's thinking about coming to treatment, what makes it successful for someone?
Some of the main things for me were surrendering, and I learned that here. And to me, that was forgetting everything that I think I know, and just listen to everything that everyone has to say to me, and figure out a way to use it. Yeah. Another thing was being curious. And what I mean by that is there's so much every day that you can learn from and that you can use to benefit yourself. You just got to look for it. So it was being curious. It was surrendering. It was knowing. It was learning that, hey, I am a good person. I do deserve good things. And just applying that and constantly practicing it so you don't forget it. Yeah. And it's just putting in the work. And I think when I first got here, I had the bad thoughts like, ooh, like this might not be for me, right? But then it was like, as soon as I just like, you know what, I'm going to go in here not thinking about anything, not knowing anything, and I'm just going to listen to what anyone has to say. And as soon as I started doing that, it was like, okay, it's clicking. I'm absorbing all of this. Like everything I'm hearing, I'm going to use. Yeah. Even if it was something I didn't agree on, I'm like, okay, like I might not want to do this every day, but maybe I can use it somehow, right? It was like I was open to anything. Yeah. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to do this and not this. It was like, okay, like, no, like, let's try it. It's not going to hurt if I try it. Yeah.
I love that attitude because I think so many people come in here and don't surrender. They fight the process. They think they know more than the people that are coaching and therapizing them. It's like, it's like, well, no, you don't. You're in here. You're struggling. Your life has been a mess, and that's why you're here. And that's what I really, remember and also appreciate about you, Dalton, is that you did all of the above that you just mentioned. You worked hard. You surrendered to the process. I know at least with me, you did everything I asked. Hey, do this, read this. I want you to write this down. I want you to study this. I want you to memorize this. I want you to believe this and work on. And you just like, okay, you want me to do that? I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was, you're one of those clients that we wish we had all those type of clients every time, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't always happen that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you were just ready to like, I got to do something different.
I had to.
Yeah.
Or else I might not be sitting here.
Yeah. You know, this is probably a tough question, but, you know, when people lose a loved one, you know, I mean, you've lost 3. I think, did your mom pass away? Was it a year after you came into Wasatch, right?
Right.
Now, a lot of people would use that as an excuse to go back to drinking or doing drugs again. How did you work through that?
I used everything I learned here. I as soon as it happened, I obviously was emotional. I was hurt.
Sure.
It was hard again. But I knew, I was like, you know what? I've done this for a year now. Like, if I'm going to let this get in the way of anything, I can't use my mom to hurt myself anymore.
Yeah.
She wouldn't want that. She'd want me to continue doing exactly what I was doing.
Wow.
And from then on, I was like, you know what? Like, I have the best support right here. My family was like right there for me. They're making sure I was okay. They told me they loved me.
Yeah.
They were there. And I was like, you know what? Like, that's what I need. I just need to, if I'm hurting, like, I ask for help. I have a great community back at Wasatch, so that when I go back, that they're going to be the same.
Yeah.
And I just leaned into that. And I worked through it more with my therapist.
Yeah.
I worked hard again. I took the time to deal with whatever I needed to deal with. And then I got up, I went to work. I did what I like doing.
Yeah.
I just did everything that I learned here.
Yeah.
And
I love that.
I knew that even though that happened, I didn't want to hurt myself, and I didn't want to hurt anyone I was close to by, taking the easy route to deal with my emotions this time. I had to go through it this time.
Wow. I love that. That's amazing. Very well said, Dalton. Did you ever get to a point where you're like, man, this isn't fair? I mean, I've lost my father, my brother, and now my mom. Did that ever cross your mind?
It did.
Okay.
And it was, I remember sitting in the hospital when my mom, and I was like, I'm 27 years old now, and I've lost my little brother, my dad, and now my mom. I was like, why the fuck is this happening to me? But it was just very quick, and I snapped out of it. I said, you know what? Life's hard for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I cannot be a victim of that.
Mm.
And I can't use that to not do what I know I can do.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, it's happened to me. I can miss them, and I can love them, and I can be the best version of myself for them.
Right.
Rather than mess everything up and, throw it all away.
Right.
Just because I'm missing them. They wouldn't want that.
Right.
They would want me to carry on, continue what I was doing, so I can have a great life.
Right.
They would want that for me.
For sure.
And I just had to know that.
Wow.
And I just had to believe I deserve it, even though that they don't get the chance to be here, and I do. I couldn't blame myself for that.
Right.
And it took me a long time to know that, because I did blame myself for that.
Yeah. Do you feel like that's resolved with you now, or, do you see it differently now?
Absolutely. And I think working with you and sharing some stuff that happened to me with you, and the outlook that life happens for me, and I think ever since then, and the tricks you taught me to, they are still like with me, and it's just my job to practice that and to make an effort to connect with them like that, whether it's journaling about them or going outside and like just talking to them in a sense,
Yeah.
visiting them, like,
Sure.
yeah, it was just using that.
Well, because again, correct me if I'm wrong, if your mom and dad and brother were sitting in this room with us right now, would they want you to blame yourself? Would they want you to blow up your life? Would they want you to go get drunk?
No.
And you mentioned something I say a lot. I say this a lot because I really do believe it. And it's really hard for people, especially when they're going through something really hard, is that life happens for us. Meaning, even all the loss you've had, it happened for you. We wouldn't want that to happen to you. We wish it didn't, but it did.
Yeah.
So when we say life happens for us, there was some gifts that came from that, even though it's so hard. Can you name a couple of the gifts that maybe you gained or received because of what you've gone through?
Yeah, I think obviously this opportunity that I got at Wasatch was a huge gift.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't have happened without this.
Right.
And just the way I can love other people, because like I have so much love to give, and I have lost people that I want to give that to. And it just makes me, like I'm going to do anything for people I care about.
Yeah.
I'm going to be someone you can count on.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I would be this kind of person if I didn't go through that. And I think that's a gift. I think the way I show up for people and I care about people and just overall me, I think is better now.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And again, it really is a freeing principle when we realize that. It's hard to see it when you're going through it, obviously, and it's much easier to look back and go, okay, what were the lessons learned? Oh, yeah, that did happen for me because look at the lesson I had to learn.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I love that. So you now, if I'm not mistaken, you've been clean, is it a couple years now?
2 years now.
2 years. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome. I think it was just recently, a couple weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, September 3rd.
Yeah, congrats.
Thank you.
Very cool. Did you ever think you'd be in that position?
No. I honestly never did.
Yeah.
I thought I would be struggling with it.
Yeah. Well, you now work for Wasatch Recovery, which is also cool.
Yeah.
You've been clean 2 years, working for Wasatch Recovery. You've got a new, let's call it your soul family here at Wasatch. You got a lot of people who love you and care about you, and you're just doing good. How does it feel? Do you feel like, man, you feel like you're really thriving right now in your life? Do you feel like, man, I can't believe where I'm at despite all the heartache I've went through? I
do. I believe like it, people tell me how great I'm doing and they love to see what I'm doing. And sometimes it takes me a minute to I'm like, yeah, you're right, because I always want to keep growing. But right now, yeah, it's amazing to see what I'm doing and how I can help other people and the impact I have on other people now.
Yeah.
So it's so gratifying to sit here and be like, damn, like I really am doing awesome. And I want to keep it going. I want to do more.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable where I am and I'm okay and content and happy. But it just makes me want to, you know what? I want to go for it. I want to see how much I can do and how much I can help, how much I can better myself and help other people and change other people's lives.
Sure. I love that. What are your future plans? Like, what do you want to do? Like, do you have some goals you have in mind that you want to go accomplish or?
Yeah, there's a number of things. My plan right now is I'm going to go to school and I'm going to work on being a therapist.
Nice.
And along the way, I would love to write and maybe write a movie.
Nice.
That's another goal I want to, or start a podcast.
Yeah.
There's just, for me, I learned that I can do anything.
Right.
And I hope people know that because you really can when you find that sense of belief.
Yeah.
And there are going to be people out there that are going to support you and help you along the way. And you just got to open yourself up to that.
Right. Love that. Those are good goals.
Yeah. Those are my big goals, shooting that's what I'm going to go for.
Yeah.
I'm going to do everything I can to get it.
I love it. You know, looking back on your life, I mean, you've been through a lot, like we just obviously have talked about, and you've also overcome a lot and you're doing well, and it's really exciting to watch. If you could sum up your life right now, what would you say about it?
I'd say my life has been a battle, but I am absolutely grateful to be in the position I am now. I'm grateful that I went through what I went through, and I'm proud of the resilience I had to get through what I had to get through. And I'm very joyful in life right now. Like, I love my life, and I love the friends that I have, and I love my family.
Yeah.
And it just feels so good to finally be able to say that.
Yeah. Well, I really believe that I know your sister's proud of you, and I believe that your brother and your mom and dad are as well.
Thank you.
For sure. You mentioned your grandparents. Have they been a good influence in your life?
Absolutely. They're so supportive. They are always people I can lean on.
Yeah.
Like, they're always there if I, like, no hesitation.
Right.
You know, like, even when was doing something stupid, it's like, you know, I call them and they're going to help. They're going to be there.
Yeah.
So grateful.
Yeah.
For that.
What a blessing that has been, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My uncle, my other cousin, like, they were all there. They helped me every step of the way as much as they could.
Yeah. It's awesome. If someone's listening to you right now, Dalton, who's in a dark place, they're struggling, they're not sure what to do, what advice would you give that one person listening to you right now?
I'd tell them that they can do it, and that somebody loves them, and that they will find that. Yeah. And even if they think, you know, there's nothing good that's going to come from the situation they're in now, like, I promise that I see it every day, that, like, miracles, honestly, this is like a miracle. Like, I'm a miracle. So I've seen it firsthand with myself, and I've seen it in so many others that it's possible.
Yep.
And that there are people out there that will help you.
Yeah. Beautiful. Very well said.
Thank you.
Words that need to be said, actually. Because a lot of people I know tuning in, Dalton, are struggling.
Yeah.
And if we can help one person listening to this podcast and listening to your amazing story, man, how cool would that be?
Yeah.
Right?
It'd be amazing.
It'd be amazing. Well, dude, I think the world of you. If people want to reach out to you and want to get to know you better, or they have a question for you, or what would be the best way for someone to reach out to you?
On Facebook, Instagram.
What do you want to give your handles on those so people know? So
my Facebook is just Dalton Tarufelli.
How do you spell that?
Tarufelli. And my Instagram is the same. Just my name, Dalton Tarufelli.
Is it Dalton.Tarufelli?
Dalton.Tarufelli.
Yeah.
On my Instagram.
Yep. Yeah. There's not a lot of Tarufellis, I don't think, that are, but because I looked you right up, there it was. But I'll put those links in the show notes so people can get right to you.
Absolutely.
And I really encourage people to reach out to you and ask you a question, and especially if you're struggling, Dalton has some good advice, and you'll make a great therapist when that time comes. And
thank you.
You know, I love your work ethic, dude. I really, it doesn't surprise me, and I see this. It's funny because I posted about this earlier today, even, that if you put in the work, you're going to get the result.
Yeah.
And that's just what you did. You got here and you worked. And what that work looked like is you processed your past. You talked about death. You talked about addiction. You talked about feeling less than. You just got open and honest with where you're at. And then you did everything we asked you to do without hesitation. You weren't perfect by any stretch, but yet at the same time, you really worked hard on trying to make sure you did everything.
Yeah.
So it's no wonder you're doing so well today.
Thank you.
Yeah. So congratulations to you, Dalton. I think the world of you. You're one of the nicest people I've ever met.
I think the world of you. Like, I thank you for everything you did for me.
You're welcome.
And it's just, I'm lucky I get to know you and call you as a friend now.
Oh, thank you. You know, there's in 1675, Isaac Newton penned in a letter which he stated, "If I've been able to see a little further than others, it's by standing on shoulders of giants."
Yeah.
And I've been standing on shoulders of giants that allowed me to see a little further in my life. And, you know, maybe I've been that for you, but it's because someone showed me the way.
Right.
And now you're going to be in a position, and you've been doing it already. You show people the way. You're helping out all the time. So many people comment on, you know, like when I get back from the weekends here back in my office, I'll be like, "Hey, how's things going?" It's like, "Oh, I was doing good. Yeah, I was struggling, but talked to Dalton, and Dalton kind of set me straight, and I feel much better." I'm like, sweet. I hear that all the time.
Yeah.
So you really are a great influence. You have that it factor. You're very humble, but at the same time, you know, you're confident in the things that you do. And, you know, I can point to you and say, this is how you do treatment. This is how you change. Look at Dalton and follow his lead.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That means so much.
Yeah. You're welcome. Well, thanks for being on my show.
Thank
I can't
you.
believe, dude. It's almost been an hour, and it doesn't even seem like we've been here 5 minutes.
Not even a
right?
little. Yeah.
And that's when you know it just flowed, and it was great. So thank you for being here,
Of
and
course.
for all the insights you've shared with us. And I think one of the most things I learned, I know a lot about you, but just that you didn't play victim to the passing of your mom, even though it was really difficult, and you had every reason. Everyone would probably understand, but yet you did all the right things. You talked about it, and you're like, I'm not going down that road.
Nope.
So good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So thanks for being here, brother.
Absolutely. It was amazing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go, folks. I told you were in for a good one today. Dalton Tarufelli. Am I saying that right?
You got it.
Okay, good. Dalton is amazing. Please reach out to him. I'll have his links in the show note to Instagram and Facebook. If you got a comment for him, tell him thanks, or you have a question for him, reach out to him. If you have a friend or loved one who's struggling, especially if they've lost someone in their life to someone passed away, they can learn a lot from Dalton's response and how he dealt with it, and I think it'll go a long way. So thanks for supporting. Again, thanks to the sponsors. I love you guys so much. Until next time, everybody.